probably get recognized for Boba Fett more now, but is it more satisfying to you, or does it make a difference to be recognized for your work as a theater actor as opposed to being Boba Fett? Or is there a difference in that? Does it matter to you one way or the other?
You see, I don't mind when people say, some people say, I've moved on, I'm now playing King Lear, how dare they say that I was Boba. You know, it's rubbish. You did it, and you should be proud of it, because to be part of such a wonderful trilogy, you've got to be proud of that. And, you know, some people in England, they'll know you from a lot of television. I was in a soap opera for 3 years, and I couldn't walk anywhere. I was embarrassed there. I had to get on a bus. They said, "Oh, look, it's him. It's him. Philip. Can we have your autograph on the bus?" And the people are getting annoyed because they're wanting to sit down on the bus.
Can you sign my bus ticket?
Yes,
I was sitting next to him. I was sitting next to him.
So you do that, but what this playing the part of Boba Fett has brought is being allowed to travel. I travelled a lot with all the films I've done and theatre. I did a Far East, Middle East tour, which you can't do now. But you know, all that, and then now being asked to come to, you know, I've been to Japan, and Daniel has, and I've actually contacted the guy that has some photographs, and it was all ruined. So when we get home, we're getting together, and I'll talk to you about it, Daniel, and we're going to send them off some more photos to raise money. So no, I've been terribly lucky. I've worked hard because I was actually quite a good waiter, but it was getting to the point where I was getting probably too good because I wasn't offered any work. So, but I think you have to do lots of different jobs to find out exactly where you are.
Now, you guys both started acting about the same age. You started when you were 10, roughly.
10,
yeah,
10,
when you're with your commercial, and then
I was 11.
11
when I did,
for you. What?
So
okay.
we're meant to be together. Look at us. How good looking am I gonna be when I'm older? I'll cut a little bit of the white off on the sides, spike it up in the back.
Well, you're receding. That's going to go soon. Anyway, so
by the time this receding headline goes far back, I'll be able to get those plugs.
Oh yes.
I heard that's a celebrity thing to do nowadays, you know? Plug it up.
You talk about the generational thing. The difference is you've got a website.
Who's got plugs?
And Dan...
Everyone's like, oh. I do.
Yeah, so you both got websites. Mm-hmm. But you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter.
I'm
MySpace,
on everything,
you're
man.
everywhere. And Jeremy, any of the social media, is that...
Well, I seem to be on Facebook, but I don't know how I got there. Because it is time-consuming, and to be quite honest, I don't understand what it means. There are certain people who are on, and I've got to return a message here, and someone's on there, and you go, oh, not him, not him. And they're all Star Wars actors or stormtroopers or whatever.
Just different aliases.
And I just can't. I've got too much to do. I mean, I have 10 grandchildren, and they take up a lot of time. So, but they do. They can get onto Facebook. They can say, "Look, you need to do this." Texting. See, Granddad, that's it. It's gone now. It's gone past me, and I haven't got the time to. Technically, I'm not very good.
It's amazing, though, with the resources we have today. I mean, you got to think about it. The convention circuits were a lot bigger thanks to not having the internet. We used to have collectibles where toys were worth so much because you could only find them at conventions, you know, the market of autographs and whatnot, you know what I mean? I mean, it completely changed thanks to the internet. But I use all my resources. I mean, Facebook and Twitter. I try to keep people, like, up to date. I mean, I have friends that go on and they just write terrible stuff. I'm like, what are you on right now? You know, stop drinking. Don't twit and drink, you know? So I'm like, I try to, like, you know,
good, that.
find appropriate times.
You could do an advert. Don't twit and drink. It's quite
I like that. We can start a new
Don't drink or
advertisement.
twit. Either way, I think that's probably a good thing.
That's right.
Don't go on Facebook when you're hungover. Start a whole new campaign.
Now, talking about conventions, what's your favorite part about being at conventions, just in general? And then what do you like about this one?
Well, if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't travel, because we have to travel a long way from London. And I think just seeing people, and someone said, "Oh, I last saw you, it was 6 years ago, thank you for coming back." And it's the thanks. It's really, without you being here and the amount of people here, there wouldn't be conventions. If you didn't like the films, we wouldn't be here. Nothing would happen. So it's down to you that these things work, really.
I just come for the free food. Free lunch, count me in. Take a train there. No, I love conventions because the atmosphere. I mean, where can you go anywhere in the world and have this, where we all enjoying something together, where we can all come together, and you know what? It's a place and time for us. You know what I mean? These conventions. I mean, if anyone outside the world, like I brought my best friend. I mean, it's his second time. First one was a little convention, so now he's actually getting the convention. He's like, this big, you know? I'm like, yeah, I know. Tell me about it, right? Like, this is awesome. So like, I come because of the atmosphere, really. I mean, because technically we don't have to come. You know, we could be, you know, sour people and live in our house and forget those conventions. But you know how to come out, it's enjoyable and it's a great time. So I mean, I love it. I know Jeremy loves it. I'm gonna speak for him because I'm the younger version of him.
I hope you can understand the New Zealand accent. It's slightly New Zealand.
I thought he was the translator.
Here we are from New Zealand.
I knew I was doing something wrong. No, but yeah, it's just an all-around great time, you know. And I mean, thanks to being out on the movie and then now come out and be able to still do these things is very humbling because you got to realize I have friends in movies and I have movies that I love, but I mean I've never seen actors at conventions. You know what I mean? So it's like I always wait till I get to see these people, and when they never come, I'm like, oh, man, when am I gonna get to see someone I love till I get to go?
What about Flipper? That's an old one. He used to go on conventions. I met Flipper.
Flipper?
Well, not the mammal, no.
I thought we were talking about the mammal. I was like, that's a bit of a hard autograph.
No, the chap who was with... Well, no. They can do anything. That's going to be
what.
Sorry, we're interrupting you because you're...
No, you're... See, we tend to just have conversations in between ourselves. Could you imagine a phone conversation? I'm in bed at 4 o'clock in the morning like, Jeremy, I'm tired.
No, but what is interesting, and it's when people say, what do you think you've achieved in life? I said, well, I've been acting for 53 years. I've got lovely family, the children. I'm a Pez. I'm a Lego. I'm a stamp. There's a Boba Fett stamp, and it arrived. Someone got one of those stamps. A Boba Fett sent me a letter, and it got to my house. So what more can you want? I really don't want anything else. So I just...
To your house?
Yes, the letter with a Boba Fett stamp. That's cool.
Do you send them to your house, or do you send them to your mail address?
I send fan letters to myself, yes.
That's part of the trick.
I was wondering why I have no fan mail.
But you have to, you know, to keep up the... I got 8,000 letters this week. So all the same
That's why
writing.
he's not doing social media.
Yes. Sorry, we interrupted. I beg your pardon.
Do you guys ever get tired of talking about Star Wars and Boba Fett? I mean, you guys have done other things. You've done other work. You've done other parts. Doctor Who, Hercules, all of these other things that you've done as actors, as performers. And yes, it's coming out and you're seeing this group of people, and you've got all these adoring fans, and it's very gratifying. But is there ever a point where it's like, God, I really wish I could talk about my other work? I mean, like you said, you've been performing for over 50 years, and you're starting out. You're getting. I mean, you started in Star Wars, and it's been nothing but Star Wars since, with some other things. Is there ever a moment where you just kind of back off and say, well, wow, what have I gotten myself into?
No, if I can't go, or I don't really want to go, I will let people know and say, I'm sorry, I can't make it, but I will sort of the following year if possible. These events just happen sometimes out of the blue. 3 weeks, someone will contact you. Could you come to Puerto Rico? And I say to my brother, why are you asking me to Puerto Rico? Oh, you knew. No, I'm joking, but you do. People will. Can you get here next week? You can't. I would need at least 3 months to be able to say, right, well, let's leave everything and let's go. But I promised to come here a long time ago. I was probably January, December. I said, I'll definitely be here because we had such a great time.
Well, they didn't invite me that late out. They only invited me last week. Look who's loved by Planet Comicon, huh?
Yeah, well, as I said,
he's the busy Fett.
You do the publicity yourself. That's the great thing, and you sort of grow and say, "Hey, Boba Fett's going to be there." That's me saying that. Hey, no.
No, and with me, I don't get over talking about Star Wars. I mean, the funny thing with me is it's hilarious because, like, when I'm at home, I'm Daniel Logan. You know, my friends, they don't call me Boba or whatever. You know, actually, it's funny. I'll tell you one quick story. My stories end up being long, so forgive me. But whenever it comes to going to parties and stuff like that, when I first came out, I used to tell, like, girls, my friends were like, do you know who he is? Do you know who he is? And I'm like, shut up, shut up. Do you know who he is? Who is he? Who is he? Shut up, don't tell me. He's Boba Fett. Boba who? Or, you know, and then it'll be, oh, Boba Fett, Star Wars? Oh, my gosh. And I'm like, why'd you do that, you know? So it's like, it gives me a heads up when it comes to the girls sometimes, and then it's sometimes like a negative, like, oh, my brother likes that stuff, you know? So it's really funny, but I never get over talking about Star Wars because it's only mostly at conventions. And when I leave my house as Daniel Logan. When I get in that first plane, I'm still Daniel Logan because I'm talking next to someone on a plane who's asking me why I'm traveling. I'm trying to avoid the question by saying, well, I'm in Star Wars. So I'm like, I got this thing to do. Yeah, I go out and see these people at this convention thingy. Yeah, what you doing out here? You know, try and avoid the conversation. But as soon as I start landing in the place, it's like Boba Fett comes, you know, like Superman jumps into the little phone booth and comes out as Superman. It's kind of same as me. When I'm landing, I'm like, okay, Boba Fett. Daniel, who are you now? You know, I get confused. So I kind of put myself into, you are Boba Fett now.
So you get into a telephone box?
No, I get it. Well, see, New Zealanders, we don't have the phone box. We have the airplane toilet. It's a little smaller. Trying to stick the helmet and the jetpack on is pretty hard, but I mean, you got to make what you got.
We don't have that on British Airways at all.
See, when you're flying in New Zealand, I mean, you can't complain. Apparently, you can't even understand what they're saying.
No, that's true. Yes, no, yes.
No, but yeah, I love Star Wars, and like, you know, that's where I become Boba Fett. That's where I become like the talkative. Oh yeah, this. Oh yeah, that. So, at home, I don't really talk about Star Wars. My friends are like, shut up about Star Wars, you know.
Yeah, but it's funny because you're right. Many years ago, first convention I'd ever been to, and I came back, and my son was there. I said, Robbie, look at this watch I've got here. Look, you press a button, and then Boba Fett's helmet just moves there, and then you press that one, and then a little light comes down and shadows on his helmet, and I could feel him looking at me, and he said, Dad, you're pathetic. And that's, you know, I was going on about it. I'd collected a Boba Fett towel, lots of memorabilia for Boba Fett. And then he said, Dad, isn't it incredible? You put a bucket on your head and you become famous.
Now, how do your kids feel about all of this? I mean, have they adjusted to the whole thing?
Yes, they have. They were very young when I was filming, but they think it's fun. But grandchildren-wise, there's only 2 that like Star Wars. That's I haven't said, hey, come on, this is good stuff. They're not, you know, they're not that interested. They're on to Harry Potter, you know, with the Lego game. They've got that. And I said, well, why don't you try the Star Wars one? It's a really interesting, and Boba Fett's flying all over the place. God, it's no.
No, Grandpa, no.
But that's good in some ways.
And my kids, they love it. I got 4 kids. I'm joking.
You have 3 dogs.
Everybody's spaceman. Boba, we get around in the galaxy, you know?
Yeah. They're random.
Now, you got 3 dogs.
I got so many animals, I could go on all day. Yeah, I got 3 dogs, a hairless cat.
Now, do they have Star Wars names, or do they have normal Daniel Logan names?
No, they got normal names. I got my girlfriend from my best friend, so he gave her like a real human name, Amy. But I got a Staffordshire Bull Terriers. They kind of look like Petey of Little Rascal, and my white one actually looks like Petey. His name's Havoc. I called him Havoc because I had a female, and my pops got me her for Christmas. So I wanted her to have a boyfriend because I didn't have enough energy to play with her. As you can see, no energy. So I got him, and she never barked. So when I brought him in the back of the house, down the side gate, he started barking, and I'm like, shut up, because my other dog don't bark. So my dad comes outside, turns on, floods out backyard, and there's the dog, and he's like, whose is that? And ours? So he kind of stayed after that, and he's a crazy dog. He dives like 12 feet underwater to grab a 15-pound rope, climbs trees, climbs up on one side of the ladder, goes down the other side. He's an amazing dog. His real name is Havoc. It's amazing. I got him on this boxing bag that I punch. It's a water weight bag. He jumps on top of it, catches his own body weight and then stands up on 2 feet and is like catches onto my the top of my railing from my we call him a veranda or whatever you call it, porch. But he's an amazing dog. And then I got Phantom, and he's half black and half white face, Phantom of the Opera. He's my spoiled little brat. He gets away with everything. But then I got a hairless cat. She actually came from Austin Powers' family. We call it Mrs. Bigglesworth. Yeah, I changed up the food on my dogs and my cat. I changed it from the worst of the worst to like the best, and I end up having like the worst number 2 all over my house, from inside to the outside. I'm like, don't ever do that. If you change your animal's food, half and half, and then quarter, and then don't do what I did, just switch it right over. You have a lot of cleaning to do, and hopefully you don't have white carpets.
Well, remind me not to come round to your place. So I just.
Well, I thought that's why you were going to come over. I thought we were going to help each other.
Yeah, well, I was going to. Well, next time I'm in LA, I'll come round.
I'm going to keep you to that.
Okay.
I'm going to take pictures, put it on Twitter and Facebook. Look who's at my house! What?
I think we'll take a rain check on that one.
You promised.